create a convention that we felt like was truly built from the ground up to be very inclusive of everyone, like make everyone feel like they really belong in the world of fandom, because they do. Everybody deserves a seat at the table and deserves to feel comfortable and safe attending events, and not to be shut out of like networking opportunities and fun stuff to do. So that was the original impetus, and it's been so much fun that we keep doing it, just because it's the number of awesome people that we've met along the way, and just how much everyone, including us, looks forward to that weekend in October every year. It's not that big a stretch to say that sometimes people do go and then come out a little bit changed on the other side of it, and at least in terms of their new friends and their new thoughts on things, and like rejuvenated inspiration.
I think the conversations is what Jesse means. When you come out of it and you've had all of these amazing conversations that you don't necessarily get to have in everyday life, people who are smart and funny and usually quite goofy, and it's becoming a family.
One of the great things about the Multiverse Convention is all the fresh faces that we get to see each and every year. And tonight we welcome two of them. First, we have artist, author, blogger, and publisher Winifred Tatao. Then we welcome in speculative fiction author Nikki Nelson Hicks. And then we'll have also a look at a sponsored event from a Multiverse sponsor that's happening this weekend, where you might just meet some of the people you'll meet at the Multiverse Convention. We're doing all of that tonight on the Spotlight series on the Multiverse with your host, Joe Compton. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spotlight on the Multiverse. Yes, I am Joe Compton, and I'm super glad to join you tonight. I'm super glad to welcome in some new faces and some familiar ones. First, we're going to start with a fresh new face that I'm getting to know, and it's really awesome to have her here. So, Winnie, tell everybody a little bit more about yourself, please.
So hi everyone, my name is Winifred or Winnie Tato. I am an author, book publisher, artist, and fairy extraordinaire.
I love that.
I have been publishing professionally for now 5 years, and we opened our doors to publish other writers and creatives earlier this year in April. And I'm happy to be here to just talk about fantasy, talk about community, my writing community I'm creating, and the ones I yet to join and meet.
Awesome. So what made you apply for Multiverse? What was it about Multiverse how did you hear about it, and what made you want to join us?
So it's funny, I actually saw an ad for it last year for the convention to go to, but I was like, oh, I want to see if I could get a booth, and but of course I saw it like the week before it was supposed to happen, so I was like, yeah, okay, maybe next year. And then I had put it just a pin in it to reapply for 2024 and go as a guest or as an artist. And then in February of this year, I met Vanessa, and she was also at another convention with me, promoting and selling her books and writing. And she talked to my mom, and then my mom told her, like, hey, if you need to talk to my daughter, she's at the pink booth, you can't miss her. And of course I was there, and we went and we chatted, and she was like, yeah, I'm part of Multiverse. And I was like, wait a second, I know that convention. I tried to go this year, or I last minute tried to go. So she invited me to apply to become a guest, and I was just honored and super excited. So I can't wait.
Well, that's the person to know if you want to get into this thing, because she's the boss. So, she makes all the decisions as who gets to go and who doesn't. So it's good networking right there. So that's awesome. We have our friend Anita Stewart here. Hello, Anita. Nice to see you. That's cool. I love that. So are you going to Venn this year as well as be a featured guest? Have you found a table and everything like that?
Yes, so I will be vending. So I'll be there with Wins Books. That is my brand and publishing company.
Mhm.
So I'll be mainly just selling my books, artwork, and jewelry. So if you guys want to stop by and say hi to me in between going to the panels, please do.
Nice, awesome. So, I mean, one of the cool things about this year about Multiverse I keep talking to guests about is the idea that we're in a new space. This is a new experience, a new adventure for all of us. So being new to this convention for the first time is almost everybody's experience this year. Does that kind of give you a little bit more comfort about being a first timer? That knowing that everybody's going to be experiencing the same thing you're going to experiencing for the first time?
Kind of take that mindset into every convention, even ones I've been to before,
Yeah.
because it's always a new year. There's always new people. There's things that have been grown, things that have been cut back on, things that we've changed from last year that we've learned from. So I always try to take it as, even if I've been to this convention 2-3 times, it's still a new convention because I'm going to meet new people. I'm going to connect with new vendors and artists. So I kind of always try to take that mindset into every convention, to keep myself open-minded and excited for what is to come.
I love that. I love that. That is the right approach because yeah, I mean that is true. Things do evolve, things change. You learn from mistakes, you learn from things, and you lean on things that became popular that maybe not everybody got to experience the first time around. I mean that is certainly an MO of Multiverses. There's so much going on, and oftentimes you don't get to experience it all. That's the great reason of coming back, right? Is to get, I'm going to do that thing that I didn't do last year, right? So I love that idea. You took the survey. Was there any panels that stood out to you? Any that you're hoping to? Because Vanessa's going to watch this eventually, so here's a chance to pitch to her if you want to make sure you get on something that you were really interested in. Was there something that really caught your eye?
Oh, definitely I believe it was one of the artist panels, to create things. As much as I love to write, I also love to do demonstrations and workshops. So anything I can talk and make art is always a yes for me. Also, there were some workshops on publishing. I'm always happy to give advice and talk to new writers, even if, again, they're not submitting work to me. Just, anything I can help someone guide them to, a better space with their writing, or have them better understand the publishing industry, because it's a giant, just like any other media industry. So anything I can do to help lend a hand and support someone else's journey, I get excited about. So anything, Vanessa, if you're watching or you're listening, those are like my top favorite ones.
Nice. Awesome. That's awesome. And Mason, I'm going to put a shout out to Mason out there. Mason, you heard it when he wants to do some art on your track. So he'll be real excited about that. He loves cultivating new artists, especially on his track there. So that's awesome. Another cool thing I was saying before we started is your background there with the art. And you were telling me that some of it is yours and some of it is some friends that you've accumulated over the years, and beautiful artwork behind you. Did you think about the art show at all? Were you looking at the art show when you looked at Multiverse?
Yeah, so originally I wanted to just apply for the art show.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, I can just do that and then I'll just wander around the rest of the convention. And then I was invited as a guest. I was like, oh, I don't think I'll be able to wander as much as I thought I would. So, but yeah, definitely if I'm not in an art show, I love galleries. I love going to see art and meeting new artists. And collecting more art for my wall. And soon I'm just looking at the ones in front of me. I'm soon gonna run out of space, but I love having artwork, and I love, supporting other artists and creatives. So definitely I'm more excited to just see everyone else's art than just really showcase mine.
Right. Yeah. No. And yeah, you walk through the aisleways. I do this every year. I walk through those aisleways, and then I attend the last show, the showing where we get to vote, and then they announce the winner and everything. They have a nice little ceremony and things of that nature. And looking at that artwork every year, I go, okay, can I get away with packing one less outfit or packing one less something so that I can make sure that I have room in my suitcase, because I have to travel via airplanes, and obviously I could probably ship it too. I have enough people and friends that I know that would do that for me. But I just think about that and I go, okay. And then also, obviously having the funds to buy the artwork as well, because I need to do that. This year I've been really concentrated and focused on. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make some space, because you can see behind me, my walls could use some art. So I really am looking forward to that aspect of it. And you get lost in there really quickly. Some of the art is just so spectacular. It is one of I've been to a lot of conventions, and I'm sure you have as well. You've been to a few. You've seen art shows before, and usually there's a theme or there's something that and it doesn't always strike you. But this particular art show just has so much interesting, striking differences about it, and I think that's cool about something like that. And I think the best approach is to walk through it and then go, you know what, next year, that's my spot right there, right?
Yeah. Yes. Go shopping and then sell.
Right. Right. Yeah. Support and then get supported. That's how it works.
Yes.
Right? Speaking of important dignitaries, Jesse's here with us. Jesse, one of the co-chairs of the con. He says hello. Hi, Jesse. Thanks for being here. It's really cool. Thinking about what you do and how you do it. You're very multifaceted. Have you always been artistic? Has that always been something you've leaned on? And when did you really think about it seriously? When did you really feel like you were going to be an artist?
Oh, I was born an artist. Since I think even before first grade, I remember I had made my mom this. I drew her, and then I drew her in like this cute little outfit with, I remember, black boots. And my mom just she took it and she was like, "This is really good, Winnie." And for my parents are African, so they're very honest. Like if something is bad, so my mom was like, "No, this is good. Like you did good." So I was like, "Really?" She was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Okay, that's it. I'm just gonna keep doing this." So I just kept making more art and drawing, and then I started taking it to school and drawing for like friends, and I just loved it. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this forever. I'm not." I'm not changing. And at first I was like, "Oh, I'm going to do fashion design." And then I quickly learned I liked more of just the design aspect of fashion design than actually designing clothing and doing work. I was like, "No, I just want to make pretty patterns and like draw them," and I was like, or maybe I just like making art and putting it out on the wall. I'm like, I don't. Nice. So that change doesn't really happen like when I was about 12 or 13. I was like, no, I think it's not really fashion design. It's just the arts aspect of it that I love so much. And for writing, that was just as young too. I come from a family of storytellers, so I've always listened to stories, and my parents always read to me. So I started writing in, I think, 5th grade when started doing my own little poetry, which I still have my poetry book from then, which is I read it, I'm like, oh, this is so bad. But I sometimes do say like, I don't know if my love for writing or reading came before my love for art. I feel like those are really my chicken and egg. I don't really know which one came first. I know which one I started first, but the love has always been on an equal playing field. So I definitely have always known I was going to be a creative and go into some type of creative field, whether I liked it or not.
That's awesome. Jesse wanted to make sure to let us know that Allison, his other co-chair and incredibly talented artist in her own right, and somebody who's on the art show every year, is here, and she says hello to us. Hello, Allison. Nice to see you. Yeah, I think we spend a lot of time examining, what love comes first, but honestly, just leading into the love, it feels right? It just, when it feels right, who cares how it happens or where it comes from, right? Oh, did I lose you? I don't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-oh, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. So, an interesting thing about you is that you got to kind of travel the world when you're younger because you were a military child. Did that have any influence on you as an artist? Did you absorb a lot of that culture and different cultures and different backgrounds from being around? I mean, obviously, you're probably on a base, so it didn't. I mean, you probably explored, but did it influence you at all? Do you feel like that really helped you as an artist?
Oh, definitely. And my parents are big travel people. They love to,
Nice.
yeah, any place we went, we would still go to the museums and go, because again, I love art and I love history too. So they would take me to museums and take me to the art shows and fairs and things like that. And I got to see the cultures firsthand, and I got to, meet so many different amazing people from different backgrounds. And I just loved it, and I just loved how colorful things were. I loved how intricate and descriptive like different cultures and traditions could be. Folklore, oh my gosh, I love folklore. It's so fun because I'm like, wow. And I love seeing the connections between different whether it be mythology, whether it be folk tales, between regions or even between continents. I always think it's so fascinating to see like what travels, and what really connects people, and kind of what things we all kind of share as like a community, as humans, what ideals we kind of share. I just feel it's so nice to see and experience, and also get to learn about, and again, get to put on my walls like this back here, this little mermaid that she's from Belize, along with my mask. So yeah, I'm always like trying to again have where we go a part of my daily life for me to get inspiration from, and be able to better cultivate fun and exciting fantasy stories, or just go down a wormhole or rabbit hole of like adventures and different mythologies and histories of different types of people.
Nice. Yeah, and you lean on fantasy as one of your major publishing aspects, and you do a lot of fantasy stuff. Do you find rooting it in that kind of authenticity of being an explorer, that it helps kind of open up worlds for you that you can explore beyond what anybody else might experience?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I see it as a building block. And I can see where, I can take something as small as, say, in my parents, Cameroon is where my family is from, and they have their own type of mermaids called the Jingu. And there are women with green hair and orange tails. And in Africa, a gap tooth is a sign of beauty. So like just taking like simple things like that and being able to create massive, intricate worlds and stories and characters, it's always so fascinating to even see other writers do it as well. Just see like, oh yeah, my parents used to tell me about this one story, and now I have a 8-book series about it, and it's like, wow, like how did you do that? So it's always just amazing to see how far like our minds can really just expand themselves with just like one piece of knowledge or like one little tidbit we hear on a guided tour somewhere, and really you just take it and go running. So I definitely love using cultures and different things I've learned and been taught to, as a building block to, bigger stories and fantasy worlds.
Nice. Being an independent author on its own is daunting enough. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of putting yourself out there, and also putting all these little elements together. Then you're going to add on top of that, you're going to publish other people's stuff now. What made you feel like you know what? It's not enough to go crazy by myself. I need some more. I need to add more people to this.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm a slight workaholic, but it was more of just I was asked to do it. I didn't.
I got you.
If I wasn't asked, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just been fine with just publishing just Winnie and keeping it like that. But I had multiple people over a couple of years be like, "Hey, can you publish my book? Hey, can you help with this? Hey, can you I trust you, and you seem to know what you're doing, and you seem to be doing it well." And I just I just don't know who I talk to. And after like kind of debating and really researching about publishing and like the difference between just like being an indie author under your own publishing company and now owning a publishing company where you publish others, I decided I think I can do this because, one, I won't be doing it by myself. Every part of the publishing process, I have at least 2 to 3 people who are doing something in it, whether it be editing, whether it be promotions, whether it be book cover design. There's always someone else I'm calling. It's not just Winnie editing. No, absolutely not. No books, but mine won't even be published if it was just doing it. So, I have an amazing team and community of other creatives and small businesses and bookish, I call them bookish businesses, that help me create this company and really help me promote and support these new coming writers and authors who, again, just don't really know too much about the publishing industry, or again, need more of a reassurance and guidance that someone isn't just going to, pull the rug underneath their feet, take their book and, go sell it off and call it a day. So, being able to, again, be that supportive and understanding voice, because I know what it's like, and I've been on the other side of having to deal with traditionally published authors and publishing my own book and how it works. So being that voice and being able to understand that, and again, having that patience, I think is what pushed people to ask me to publish. And then what also I think pushed me to publish, because if community and support wasn't the forefront of this, I wouldn't have done it. But I feel like I definitely am pushing for that. And I feel with my authors I have now, like definitely we are making sure we have a open community and space that we get to celebrate each other and our works.
That's awesome. I love all that. That's so amazing. I love that people approached you too, because, I think part of the problem is we just don't know where to go sometimes. And so, having people, having outlets, that's really nice. And being open to that idea. What is the biggest thing you've learned about publishing that you didn't know going into it, even through doing your own stuff?
I definitely would say just the paperwork. There's so much paperwork.
All the bureaucracy.
Paper trails, and more paper trails. And again, it's, writing contracts and negotiations and making sure payments are due. Because again, it's not just me paying me. It's me, royalties and who gets what and what is being associated and all of that. So I think those were like the biggest things. I was like, oh goodness. But definitely I feel And also not really surprise me, but more of just, again, I can always still learn from others.
Sure.
You know, I just opened my publishing company. There are people who have been publishing for decades. There are people who've been publishing, you know, they just started a few months ago too.
Yeah.
So I can always still, like, I'm not like, oh, I'm a publisher now, I can't learn from anyone, I can't take it back. Like, no, I'm always open to hearing advice and getting advice and learning and understanding the industry better, because I definitely will say I do not know everything. Absolutely not. And I don't claim that I will ever know everything. So still being able to, you know, ask questions and talk to other indie publishers or people in even traditionally published authors too. Like, how is your process, or what would you have changed, or what do you think you would have done differently, also helps me too. Because again, that helps both me and my authors, all of us grow, because if there's one thing I want to do is continue to grow. And one way of doing that is through learning.
Are we going to have any of these authors' stuff available in October, perhaps? Will there be somebody's stuff on the table? I mean, obviously your stuff, which I'd love you to talk about. Tell everybody a little bit about your books, so that people, when they walk by your table, they go, "Oh, you're that person I've been looking for," right? So tell everybody a little bit about your books, and then let us know if anybody else is going to appear on the table.
Yes, so I am partnering in October, and I got to see, it's time wise, books will be here.
No pressure, no pressure. I'm just saying, you know.
It's anthology I'm a part of. It's also releasing in October. One of my authors, he's releasing his memoir in September. So I don't know if it will have the best audience at Multiverse, but if he wants to give it a shot, maybe. But definitely, ironically, I get more non-fantasy submissions than I do fantasy, and I'm like,
yeah, that's how it works. That's Marshall's law for you.
and I hope other fantasy writers aren't going like, oh, is she only publishing her fantasy books? Like, she's not a. It's like, no, you are welcome to submit your work. But I always find it hilarious when I get we just announced our new signed author, Candice Lola, and she is a horror author, and her book comes out next year. So again, still within, you know, speculative fiction, but very different from the Fae Queen herself here, who loves pink glitter and sparkles. So
I'm actually appearing in an anthology with Candice. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. So tell everybody about your book.
So my books are a part of a series called The God Scion, and the 5th book comes out this August on the 2nd. It's called The Viper's Bloodline Awakens, and the stories follow a prince named Roderick and a princess named Arcelia, and all of their wonderful family issues, from alcohol and drug abuse to lies, forbidden secrets, and lots of family drama. So with the backdrop of course, dragons and time travel. So it's very fun. Well, fun for me because I'm writing it, but not fun for the characters. But very fun story, and every book has its own type of familial theme it follows. And you get to really focus on that. Like, for example, the first book really focuses on parents and how you can, you know, live in the same household as your siblings and still have different childhoods. The second book focuses more on brotherly connections and sibling connections between an older and younger sibling, and, you know, seeing the different contracts and dynamics of what a close sibling relationship bonded through trauma looks like, and then a distant sibling relationship looks that was separated because of trauma. So each book kind of, again, harbors and centers around some type of family theme or dynamic, and just exploring how these characters react to them. Again, with all the settings of gods and goddesses fighting in space, battling through time, all that good stuff.
The stuff we love.
Yes.
Do me a favor and repeat the titles for me one more time so that everybody can.
So, you want titles of all 5 books?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. So the first book in the series is called Child of Tempest. The second book is Descendants of Time and Death. The third book is The Lone Star Child. The fourth book is The Sisterhood of Secrets, a fan favorite, I might add. And the upcoming book, and second to last book in the series, is The Viper's Bloodline Awakened. So there's one more book that's going to be released hopefully in 2026, crossing my fingers, and then I will be done with this series for now.
Nice. Awesome. Well, it's awesome to meet you. It's awesome to be able to see you in October, and I'll definitely stop by your table and say hello, and maybe we'll even cross paths on a panel or two. And thank you so much for the opportunity to sit here and talk to you about everything you're doing and who you are. And thank you for being a part of Multiverse, and welcome to the family. We really love having you here. And thank you so much for this opportunity. Tell everybody where they can find you outside of Multiverse so that those of us who aren't going to be at Multiverse can still check you out.
So you can find me at Wins Books. So that's WINS Books, or winsbooks.blog, my main website, or winsbookspublishing.com, my publishing website, and Wins Books at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, whichever they're calling it now, Pinterest, all of them, Facebook, YouTube, and then on TikTok we're at Wins Books Publishing. But if you search up Wins Books, I will still appear. As long as you see a pink logo, it's me.
Look for the pink, everybody. All right, yes. Thank you, Winnie, so much. We're going to take a short little break and welcome in a Multiverse sponsor to talk a little bit about something they're doing this weekend. A lot of people probably won't be able to attend this weekend on this short notice, but hey, it's something to keep in your mind and the radar, and he explains it pretty well. So I think you guys will enjoy that. And then we'll be back with Nikki Nelson Hicks on the other side. Thanks, Winnie. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Do you want to write better books? Do you want to make more money? You need to buy your ticket to Saga, Genre Fiction Writing Conference. Here's the deal. There's not a writers' conference east of the Mississippi that focuses heavily on genre fiction, science fiction, fantasy, horror, romance, thrillers, mystery. Saga is that place. We started it because I went to a bunch of writers' conferences and there's one panel on science fiction and fantasy all weekend. That's all this is. And it's not panels. It's not 5 people who each get 8 to 10 minutes to talk over the course of an hour. It's 90-minute deep dive master classes, and you can choose during each time slot whether you want to go to a business class or a craft class. So if you need to work on your plotting and your pacing and your structure, go to a craft class. If you need to learn how to do your taxes or work on your social media or how to navigate cover design, go to a business class. So join us at Saga, July 12th through 14th in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And anytime you buy a ticket to Saga, you get a ticket to Congregate, the sci-fi fantasy convention that's happening concurrently with us. So you can enjoy all kinds of festivities, all kinds of educational opportunities, kick-ass networking, and some cool pitch opportunities too. So scan the code.
We also have the link in the description for everybody there if you want to go check out Saga Conference and Congregate happening this weekend. And happening right now, I'm so excited to see an old familiar face who's new to the Multiverse family. And we're really excited to have her joining us this October. Miss Nikki Nelson Hicks, how are you, my friend?
Hello. Hi, Joe. I haven't seen you in a long time. I've been
Yeah.
out and about, and so sorry about that. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to my very first year at Multiverse. I'm so excited because usually it happens at the same time as Southern Festival of Books, but this year it's one weekend after the other, so I can do both this year. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm very
nice.
excited. Yes, the universe kind of came into focus for me.
So, I mean, uh, what was it about Multiverse that you thought, well, maybe this is the conference for me?
Because it expands over all the genres.
Uh-huh.
Also, you have really always hyped it and said it was really great fun. Ron Lahr said it was just so much fun. I thought, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. I'm always looking for cons that deal more with genre, who is spread all over, because it's hard to find one that deals with, like, Southern Festival of Books is fine, but it primarily deals with literature, and so people who write genre like I do, who write horror or dark things, we tend to not get on panels. We don't get asked to do things because we're not literary, so which is fine. That's cool. But yeah, so I wanted to do something that was just big and spread all over the place, and it had some really great panels. Those panels look like so much fun. I might not be at my table very often. I'm going to be at panels learning things. So yeah, I've signed up for a bunch of panels. We'll see if I get in them. Oh, is it too low? I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little low.
I'm sorry. I've been trying to.
I hear you fine, but I think the audience probably.
Well, see, the problem is my husband played with my computer this weekend while I was gone, and now everything doesn't work. So I will yell into the microphone better. Is that too much for you? Is it better for her? I don't know. So I'll try better. So anyway, yeah, nothing works on my computer right now. So yeah, I'm not happy about that.
So you looked at the panels. Was there one?
Oh, the panels. Don't ask me to think of one right now, but they all looked great, and I did apply for a bunch of them. I mean, anything dealing with horror or the weird or paranormal stuff. Boom, I was on it, man. Just stick me on one of those things. So, but no, they all look like so much fun. So much fun. Yeah.
If you can't tell, Nikki's a ball of energy and one of my favorite humans on this planet. I'm so excited that she's going to be here. That we get to see each other in person. That's going to be awesome. We'll probably be on some panels too.
See each other in person. It's going to be so cool. Oh my gosh, yes.
And we'll probably be on some panels because I'm usually found in the horror track typically myself. Yep. So
that's why I usually try to get into all the horror stuff. Yeah.
And if I could make a recommendation, I think you would really enjoy Monster Mash. So
Monster Mash, I will stick it over here on the list.
So you might want to check that out. Come hang out with me in the audience there.
Okay, I will.
Have some fun. It's a blast. Monster Mash is one of those. It's a panel where Mark Abbott, he presents two different monsters to a group of warring factions, and one takes one monster, one takes the other, and they have to debate on which monster would destroy the other.
So. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. I can do that. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I always contend, and again, I'm going to get rash for this, but I always contend being in the audience is so much better than being on the panel itself, because I think you get the energy from the crowd, and we have our own discussions going on, and it usually becomes pretty raunchy, or not raunchy, rowdy pretty fast.
Rowdy, so. Yes. Well, yeah. You get a bunch of, especially if this is later on in the afternoon or in the night.
This is the evening, yeah. This is an evening panel. This is a Saturday, Friday evening kind of thing that we do. So
I have found as the time goes on, as the day goes on, people are tired and they just their masks start to slip a little bit more.
I'm Multiverse. The energy goes up at night. So once the sun goes down, we all tend to come alive a little bit longer. So
the masks slip and then get a little bit more. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you're going to vend at Multiverse as well this year?
Yep, I'm bringing all of my stuff, all the regulars, all the old stuff. Yes, I am. I've got all the Jakes. I've got my
Stone Baby.
Stone Baby. Oh, definitely Stone Baby. Stone Baby. I got Stone Baby. Rumble, the deal with my cryptid, my Mongolian death worms, and all the things. Sherlock Holmes. I got my Sherlock Holmes. My Perverse Muse. I usually give away my Perverse Muse. I have that as like a giveaway kind of thing. It's like put on my table, and I'll say, hey, you want to try my stuff? You don't know me. Nobody knows me. Here, try this. If you like this, well then come back. And it sells a lot of books that way. People will, if they don't know who you are, they'll read your thing and go, okay, well, she's not too bad, and they'll come back and find something that they might like. So yeah.
You've been doing a ton of vending in the last 2 years that I've known you. Is there something different about vending to a crowd of artists as opposed to just a crowd? Do you hone something differently in yourself
Yeah.
to kind of?
Okay, I'm gonna probably get really in bad trouble for this. When you go to a writers conference or writers con, you're not gonna sell anything. No one's got any money. We're all writers. Okay, so we're all poor. So you're probably not going to sell anything, or if you do, it's going to be just give it away, just whatever. But at another con, at a regular con, yes, you sell a lot more because people are there to buy things.
Right.
Writers are usually there just to meet other writers, hopefully meet an agent, push, and pitch. And no one's got any money to buy your book, so I give away a lot because I'm trying. I'm trying to give away a lot of these because I want to start a whole new kind of genre. I want to focus more on my horror than I have all this pulp and much more light stuff. I've got things I want to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going to try to divorce myself from that part of my writing career and work on stuff a little bit more, what I want to do. So yeah, it's hard to explain. It's just that thing where I need to do this thing, but I need to divorce myself from these past work.
No, I get it. I understand it. And it goes in cycles too, right? So
Oh,
sometimes you get this nostalgia for going back to some things too. So sometimes it's a good thing to recharge yourself to do that, and then you go, you know what? I'm not finished with what I started, right?
yes.
So
Or you'll be like, you know what? I need to do something fun. That was rough. That was really a really dark, nasty place to be for 6 months of my life. I need to do
yeah.
something a lot of fun and just monsters and chasing and just having a good time. So sometimes that happens, yeah. But yeah. So
Or
I'm trying to do.
is Jake one of those things you're shelving for now?
Oh yeah, I don't want to do any more Jake. If I do, I mean, I've got the idea for the next books, for the next stories. I do, but that'll be one of those things I do if I need to basically do a palate cleanser because Jake's just fun and he's a lot of fun. And what I want to do with Jake is still but 1930s LA, because in LA in the 1930s, sex cults were all over the place.
Oh
And
yeah, nice.
they basically just they advertised back then. Cult didn't
Poor
have
Jake.
the word. Oh, the things I've got planned for that poor guy, because I've got plans. It's a sex cult with dragons. We got fairies. That's why I've got the whole thing and dealing with the movie industry
Uh-huh.
there. So that's what I've got it all outlined, but I haven't written it. I've been too busy writing other stuff or working on other stories like freaking Politics of Children that I've been working on since like 2022. For 2 years, I've been working on this thing.
I know since
And
I've known you.
I know I've been working on the collection, but the story itself, I am now. It's like the third incarnation. I mean, it's been published twice, but both of those are incarnations. And then I actually was very lucky and got a mentor with HWA, and I let him read my latest version of the Politics of Children, and he was like, "Oh, yeah," and I was like, "Oh God, it still doesn't work." So I've rewritten it again, and I really think this version works. This version, I've changed the whole POV. It's the whole thing, but it's great to have a mentor who will basically tell you, yeah, So, yeah, I'm working on it.
For people who don't know Jake Estenhezi, he's the bumbling detective that Nikki decides to torture. I kind of describe him as Philip Marlowe meets Inspector Clouseau. And
look, he never wanted to be a detective, okay? He just wanted to go about his life. And he gets pulled into this and ends up it's in New Orleans, 1930s. He ends up
and always finds the weirdest people to meet.
Oh my God, he's constantly being pulled into crap with zombie chickens and golems, sex golems, and alchemists. And all I want to do is find a decent cup of coffee. But no, he just constantly... And I get to basically torture him for, I think, how many? Geez, it's like six stories. It's a whole arc. The New Orleans arc is it ends, and then
are you gonna have the omnibus there? Are you gonna have omnibuses there?
All. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll have both of them, the whole thing. I'll have that. Like I'll have all my stuff. Oh, I don't think I'll have any of the Gun Takes a Gander. I'm out of those. but I might, well, maybe I'll
Yeah.
order some more. It always seems to sell. People come up and they go, "Oh my God, that's so cute!" And I'll say, "Hey, you buy two Jakes, you'll get a gun for free." And
And then they
so,
pick up Stud Baby because they like the goose on the cover, and then they go, "What the fuck did I just
what
do?"
the? Oh, yeah. I was at a convention and a woman bought Stone Baby and she brought it back the next day and said, "Oh no, this is not for me." And I said, "Well, what do you like?" And she likes Ghostbusters. She likes that kind of horror. I said,
Oh yeah, no.
"Here, take this one. This is very, very Ghostbustery." And so we just exchanged it because I'm not going to make her read what she don't want to read. But yes, some people, there's horror comes in a spectrum. Okay.
Yes, it does. Yeah, yeah.
So. I'm
And,
easy. I
and Nikki
understand.
could be on both sides of those spectrums.
I am all over the place when it comes to the spectrum. I understand that. I am old, so
Yeah, Stone Baby is one of those that will shock you and
yeah.
put you in a spot where you probably never thought you'd be in.
Don't want to be. Yeah, the first publisher who got Stone Baby. Yeah, he was he was just like, this hurts. This hurts me a lot. And what the hell's wrong with you? I'm sorry. Sorry. So yeah.
You you've been doing a lot of theater lately, and a lot of performance stuff. Has that been cathartic for your writing? Have you
No,
found
it's been
that
a
has helped you?
distraction. It's a terrible distraction.
Oh, is it really?
Something that I'm focusing on right now is trying to get rid of distractions in my life. I just had a birthday. And at my birthday, I had all these lists of things. The things you must do in the next coming few years because you only got maybe 15, 20 years left. Okay, you've got to do these things. So, yes, and I loved it. Okay, I kind of fell into it. I fell into this thing. I went to see a play at this community theater in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. A friend of mine worked there. He was doing stuff. He was working as the a stage manager, and he got me in touch with someone. Next thing I know, I'm running lights and sound for another production. Then I'm a stage manager, and I just fell into it, and I loved it. It was great fun, but I also realized I got nothing else done in my life.
Yeah.
Because when you're a stage manager, you're basically God.
Yeah.
Well, the director's God, but you're kind of the demigod. You're the one who keeps all the shit running backstage.
Yeah.
If the actors need something, you got to be there to fix it. Anything breaks on stage, you got to be there to fix it. All the things. So it was great fun, but it was a distraction, and it's another distraction that I'm having to put to the side.
Well, for somebody who's as phonetic as you are, I think it's like the perfect job, though.
It is great fun. Oh, I loved it. It was so much fun constantly being on the go, trying to catch things before they happen. It was so much fun. But and also they've offered to if I want to write a play, they've offered to perhaps produce it. I'm like, let me think about that. I get other things. Another distraction is people coming to me and going, "Hey, will you write this for me?" And I'll go, "Yeah," and then that puts my stuff off, and I'll write that again. Distractions. I think it's something that all writers, all creatives go through.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to work on someone else's stuff.
Yeah.
Than your own. And I've got to stop that. Stop it. Trust me, my husband and my kids, they're constantly just rolling their eyes when I say, "Yeah, they want me to do." I thought you said you weren't. I know. Okay. But they really want. Shut up. So I did.
You didn't learn from doing Sherlock Holmes.
I did turn down a stage managing gig that was going to pay a paying stage managing gig.
What?
I turned
what
it
are
down.
You doing?
Turned it down because it was going to
Too
give
much.
me away. Also, it was the two opening nights. I am now the co-chairperson for the Horror Writers Association Tennessee chapter. And
nice.
In September,
congratulations.
Thank you. I just kind of said, "Hey, do you want me to do it?"
Yeah, that's how those things happen.
Well, our chapter just started, so we're
nice.
We're a baby chapter.
Nice.
So anyway, in September. We're going to be doing a reading in a graveyard. So I can't. Well, and unfortunately, those 2 days it's in Knoxville. So it's like, hey, I got to go to Knoxville and spend the night up there and do a reading in a graveyard. So I'm working on a poem for that. It's called "Put It Back." Put it back. So I'm working on that. It's going to be a fun little oral interpretation. So that's what I'm working on that, as well as, of course, Politics of Children.
the visuals for that would be very interesting if you actually perform something at
Oh,
the
it's going to be funny and scary because that's kind of what I go for. I go
yeah,
for the
yeah,
funny
yeah.
and the scary. I've also been dipping my fingers into doing art. I mean, painting. And a friend of mine who actually is an artist, she's a real artist. She was looking at my stuff and she's like, you know what I'm seeing in your work is you like to get really dark things, but put them against like cotton candy backgrounds.
Yeah.
What's up with that? I don't know. I just like it. I like to do something that looks like it's really happy and friendly and then slap a bloody handprint in it or something.
It's
To
it's
me,
my
that's funny.
it's my favorite thing about your art in Jake especially. You see the sarcasm and the poor man just gets beat to hell. But
Constantly.
it's like but he takes it well, he doesn't take it very well sometimes, but he takes
Ah,
it with a grain of salt on most occasions because he's just kind of used to shit falling down on top of him and
and what's he
living
going
that
to
way.
do? What's he going to do? I mean, this is
Right.
him. This is your life. This is what I've done. I am your God, and this
Yeah.
is what I've decided for you. So, yeah, I over the weekend I took a pilgrimage down to Georgia to go see the home of Flannery O'Connor. Are you familiar with Flannery O'Connor?
No.
No one is. Very few people are. But she's a very influential writer from early 1900s. She died in 63. No, 64, 64. But a dark Southern Gothic stuff.
Okay.
She's a problematic writer. Um, but I find that kind of, I'm a kindred spirit
Mm,
aside from the racism. We don't do that.
yeah.
But the fact that she is so dark and funny, still very funny, but dark as hell. And
Mm,
in 1950s and 60s, for a female to be writing the really vicious things that she wrote, she was considered quite the outcast, quite the like, what the hell is wrong with you? Um, but yes, I went down there for a pilgrimage to her home, and weirdly enough, it was so weird. I kept running into people who knew her. I went to the graveyard to find her grave because that's what I do. And I was walking around. I couldn't find it because I'm lousy at maps. And I met this old woman who was walking her dog, and she said, "Oh, are you on an adventure?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking for Flannery O'Connor's grave." She said, "Oh, follow me. I can show you." I knew her, and she started telling me all kinds of stories
oh my God.
of when she knew Flannery. Also, she's an English professor over at the college, and we started talking about her work and about problematic that she was. And she says, "Well, you know, a person from that time, I kind of give them a little bit of leeway because, but at the same time, she's like, you know, I think her biggest problem was she had no empathy for human beings. She didn't like human beings. I
Mm,
think what she needed was a good man. She just needed to get a good husband." And I was like, well, maybe husbands weren't what she wanted, but
yeah.
I'm just saying.
That would
Um,
have probably presented some more stories.
we kind of touched on her sexuality. I have no idea what her sexuality was,
Mm,
but I know that she hated everybody. If you read her stories, man, she thought human beings were just a waste of carbon,
mm,
and it's really weird. I don't think that because I've been thinking. I'm gonna write a, I'm gonna write, I'm working on writing a thing about this, about how my conflicts are dealing with about Flannery. Anyway, just dealing with the fact that even though she and I write in kind of the same kind of vein of dealing with the dark and the macabre, with a bit of a funny kind of, I am not her. I do not think human beings are a waste of carbon. I am not a curmudgeon. I happen to think humans have a great potential to be wonderful. Right now, we kind of suck. Things are going kind of crappy, but I really think we can. We can be really great. So I've been thinking a lot about that, about Flannery and how I relate to her, especially since I write what I write.
sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's always been the juxtaposition for us as horror writers, right? It's the neat thing about horror writers. I think that is unique to every other genre writer is that they're probably the nicest people. They're the most
They
grounded
are. Oh
people.
God, like I hear. When you tell people you're a horror writer, do they look at you like?
Of course, yeah.
Because when I tell people that I'm a horror writer, I either get the
Yeah, I always say whenever I get that look, I always say, "Wait till you read it." Then you really don't want to talk to me after that.
I once did a panel and we were talking about horror writers, talking about stuff, and this little old man started telling me how I needed to get in touch with my inner self. I bet I could find something
Oh,
really pretty to write about,
mm.
and how to get in touch with Jesus and stuff. And I was like, oh man, you don't know me at all, sweetie, darling. So he really pissed me off. I was just like, how dare you? How dare you? And he didn't talk to the man about that, just to me, because I'm a woman. And it really pisses me off that people think that women can't be horror writers. Bitch, we're born prey. We are taught since we baby girls what to look out for.
Yeah.
You deal with more blood than you ever will in your entire life. Why do you think women can't be horror writers? And that bothers me a lot. So that's kind of one of my big shticks. I'm hoping I'm going to be on a panel at CreepyCon in Knoxville with the horror writers, our Tennessee chapter, and I've been told it's going to be about women in horror, and I'm really hoping it is because I got things to say. And so yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah,
Is it even worth it to marginalize that anymore? I mean, we should be so past all that.
You would think so. You would think so. 2024. You think so?
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're
Yeah.
not. And
It's sad. It's just sad.
I don't know why. I don't know why. If it's just this really, really strong Puritan streak that Americans have, and we do, very strong, and that women are
Especially
strong.
where you live.
Oh, in the South? Are you crazy? Oh my God! It's no, trust me, it's very, very scary. It's very scary here, and it's amazing how much horror is here. A lot of female killers in the South, and it's because we do all the cooking. So why would you? Never understood that. Why would you hurt your wife? She cooks for you. I mean, please.
Anita says I've had other non-horror authors look at me funny, but when I mention it to regular people, they think it's cool.
For me, they always look at me like, oh. But it just I don't understand why people think that horror.
It's because you're a great personality. When the people meet you and talk to you, I mean, anybody who's going to see you for the first time here knows that it's just. Wow, she's a ball of energy. She's something, exciting.
Here, have Stone Baby.
Yeah. And then you pick up Stone Baby, and then you go, maybe I never want to talk to that person again.
Is she on medication? Has she been helped? Someone looked at her? Yeah.
But it's like I was saying, horror writers it's just.
They're very nice. I mean,
I don't think there's anything wrong with tapping into the darker elements of who you are and what you do. Not what you do, but who you are and those thoughts and everything like that. I think it's therapeutic to kind of get that stuff out there. But it also, I think you have to be grounded to come at that aspect of it too. If you're a psychopath, I don't think you could ever write anything like that.
You can't, because as a writer, you have to see it from like a Janus-sided person from both sides. Good and bad. No, psychopaths aren't very good writers.
Plus, I think the best horror writers are the ones who are asking questions, right? So
yes, who are asking questions. What if? What if? And like I was at AuthorCon back in April, and that's HWA. It's all horror writers, and trust me, they are the sweetest, nicest people in the world, in spite of all of the drama that goes on behind the scenes. But 80-90% of them are really just sweetest people in the world. And yes, we write about terrible things.
Yeah.
But maybe we just get it out of our system. Or maybe it's because we write about such terrible things. I know what pain is. I capture wasps off of my porch and let them go free. Wasps. I don't want to hurt anything. I don't want anything to be hurt. And I think it's because we think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Because life is hard. Life is brutal. Life is messy. But it can be really beautiful too. But man,
and beyond life, what is beyond life too, right?
Yeah,
that's also a very therapeutic question in terms of examining the horror of getting to that point, right? So
right. I love a good ghost story. I love ghost stories. I was talking with someone recently about, he's like, he doesn't believe in ghosts. So how can anyone believe in ghosts? And I said, I'm not saying I believe in ghosts. I'm simply saying it's a fun idea.
Yeah, right.
It's a lot of fun idea to think about. Yeah. What if there are ghosts? What if when you die, you just cross over to another energy field and you get to watch people or whatever? I mean, it's just a cool idea to think about. I'm not saying that I'm going to go out and, believe whatever that word means to you. I used to be a ghost hunter. I did the whole paranormal investigation thing way back before it became cool to do. And I can assure you there's some weird shit out there. And but 98% of it's absolutely boring. You're sitting in a dark room waiting for dead people and they don't show up. They just sit there. So, yeah.
Are you excited that StokerCon is kind of coming near towards you this year a little bit?
I got tickets. I'm going.
Did you?
I'm going.
Nice.
I got tickets. I've already got my room. We're going to fly because I'm not driving.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to AuthorCon again. I got my tickets. I got my table. 'Cause, table sold out like in 30 seconds, less than a
Yeah.
minute. So anyway, I got my table, but also for CircuitCon, yes, I am going. I'm not going to have anything. I won't have anything in it, but I'm still going because I've never done it before. And my friend, Todd Kiesling, he's been up for Stoker's every couple of years, and whenever he's up for one, I'm there, man. I'm done.
There will be quite a few Stoker nominees and Stoker folks who attend Stoker regularly that'll be there. I'll introduce you to a few of them.
Oh, please do, because I wanted to go to CircuitCon. I understand it's great fun and it's a great way to meet people and again pitch and find agents.
Yeah, I feel like I would go. I just feel like an imposter because I don't have any. I mean, other than the couple of short films that I've done in horror, I don't have any horror per se out there. So I've always wanted to wait until I have stuff out there to recognize.
I feel that way too. The very first time I went to the very first Nikon, I had nothing but Jakes. And
Yeah.
to, Nikon, which is horror writers.
Yeah.
And that was a lousy weekend for me. It's just because of me. My imposter syndrome took over.
Yeah,
and I felt so overwhelmed. But the next Nikon I went to, I still didn't have much out. But I had a different motivation. I had written other things. And I understood, look, you're all just writers like I am. You're just writers. The woman I met in the cemetery, again, she's a professor. She was telling me how, well, I don't really have the writing bug. I don't know how you writers do it. And I said, sweetie, if I could get rid of this bug, I would. I would, trust me. I would. To do anything else with my life than sitting in a room and constantly trying to make up crap and sell it. I kind of got to the point now where I'm not even worried about selling it anymore. I just want to write a good story. And I figure if I write a good story, a good enough story, it'll find a home. And that's fine too. If it doesn't, I don't mind. I'm just working on doing the best story I can do, and I can't let myself get constipated by thinking about, oh my God, is this going to sell? Is this going to be the next whatever? I don't care. You never know what's going to be the next big thing. You don't. So.
Well, tell everybody. Well, first off, I appreciate you coming here and talking to me.
I am so glad. It's been so long since I've had.
And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person in October. We've never met in person, so I mean, obviously we're in person here, but But
no, in the flesh is a whole different
exactly,
vibe. Whole different vibe.
So tell everybody where they can find all the wonderful stuff that you do, so that if they don't go to Multiverse, they can come check it out.
Okay,
or they can at least prep for Stone Baby if they do go to Multiverse.
Stone Baby. Oh, prep for Politics of Children.
Yeah,
what I'm doing that is
that's another one.
So rough one. That's been a lot of fun to write. Okay, so you can find me on Facebook. You find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram under Nick Cube, NIKCUBED, or just look up Nikki Nelson Hicks. I have a website, nnhbooks.com. I'm also on TikTok, again, Nick Cubed, NIKCUBED. Just Google me up. I'm freaking everywhere. I have quite the little the footsteps out there. The cyber footsteps. You're gonna, I'm everywhere.
All right, everybody. Well, we're going to again. I'm going to introduce you to a concept that is unique to Multiverse here, real quick, and then I'll be back to wrap everything up. Thanks, Nikki, for joining me, and
thank you.
We'll be right back, everybody. Even within a smaller con like the Multiverse, there's still so much to do, and it's so hard to find your troop within that. Well, that's where Gigi and her team at the Meat Track come into it. Another unique aspect of the Multiverse Convention is how it breaks off into smaller groups, designated for you to find those like-minded folks you seek to get the most out of your con experience. So here's yet another reason why the Multiverse is the place to be this October. You find out more about the Meat Track and all the tracks that are involved with this year's Multiverse by going to the website at multiversecon.org. We'll see you there. Yes, hopefully we will see you there, October. It's going to be awesome. Multiverse. Again, I say every week, but if this doesn't get you to come, I don't know what will. we've got some really great guests, and obviously some new guests who are going to add to the lore and the beauty that is Multiverse. And that's why we do this show. We want to introduce you to all the range of people who've been a part of it and who are becoming a part of it. So I really appreciate the opportunity to do that. And thanks everybody for joining us. And we'll see you again very soon. And remember that it's always time to go on you now. Bye, everybody.